corruption in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clout. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup.
At Big Bird Transportation Service, we specialize in safe, fast, and dependable delivery transportation for businesses and individuals. Whether you're sending a small package across town or need scheduled deliveries for your company, we're here to make sure your items arrive on time, every time. Our team is committed to providing efficient logistics solutions with a personal touch. With a fleet of well-maintained vehicles and experienced drivers, we handle every delivery with care, from pickup to drop-off. Why choose Big Bird? On-demand and scheduled deliveries. Local and regional coverage. Secure and professional handling. Customer-first service. Call us today at 929-329-9938 and let Big Bird take your deliveries to the next level.
Basement, level vibes with another one, straight up, blackness aye, who tell the truth, Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth, Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit, Mark Benskop, straight up from the root, Mark Benskop, who tell the truth, Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth, Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit, Mark Benskop, straight up from the root, Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money, straight up, him attack, educating everybody, big up my friends, and big up my family, turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity, straight up, Benskop stands for unity, one people, one nation, one destiny, free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see, the deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk, boom, who tell the truth, Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth, Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit, Mark Benskop, straight up from the root, Mark Benskop, who tell the truth, Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth, Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit, Mark Benskop, straight up from the root, Mark Benskop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention, education, liberation, we have to stand strong, Benskop, the on the radio, lively up the program, everybody call somebody, and let them turn and tune and on the radio, and catch the boom song, we boom it up already, we have to boom it up again, expose and reveal him, who tell the truth, Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth, Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit, Mark Benskop, straight up from the root, Mark Benskop, who tell the truth, Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth, Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit.
PPP will take care of you from erection to resurrection.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
PPP will take care of you from erection to resurrection.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Who's that one? Low lights and hungry bellies.
London, make some noise. PPP will take care of you from erection to resurrection.
All right, hey, don't be puzzled. We're right here, and we're going to rock and roll until 10 o'clock. 1 hour from 22 minutes after 9 o'clock until 10 o'clock. That will be 1 hour. As you guys know, that's our time. We had to wait until some other people get off their program so we can. We don't want to split the votes, neither do we want to split the audience. Why some people. Anyways, look, I'm stop. I'm done complaining. It's okay. I'm just going to do my show and that's it. Good night to all of you. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, share the link. We appreciate it. We are going to be looking for, the trench crappos. This is not a program where it's going to be contaminated. You're entitled to your views, please. You are entitled to your views, but just be respectful. Look, if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday to you. We have one of our biggest fans. She is celebrating her 96th birthday today. 96. Happy birthday to that old, I was going to say old woman. You've got to be politically correct, but I'm watching at this person on the screen. And Lemon is asking me, what are we doing with this old woman? This is not an old woman on the screen, mind you. We'll get back to that shortly. But happy birthday to our beautiful 96-year-old young woman. She's watching tonight. We love you. We appreciate you. She knows who she is, right? Die-hard PNC woman. That's what happens, yeah. Every elections, guess what? She jumps on a plane and she goes back to Guyana and she votes for her party, no matter who is leader of the party. She goes back and she votes. Happy birthday to her. She deserves that. And we're definitely going to have her for quite a few more years, another 10 years. Who knows? Who knows? 15 years. Who knows? Good night again to all of you. What's happening in your neck of the woods? Lots of things in Guyana. If you guys were wondering, where the heck was Mark Benja? How is it that he's not here? Well, you know why? It's simply because I had to walk to get here. All the way from Venezuela to Guyana, you know, what the police force trying to do to you. I'm going to whisper, they want to divert attention. They want to hoodwink you. Now, who is going to believe the Guyana police force? I am not going to do that because, you know, they have a history of wrong charge, bad charge, fabricated charges. Fabricated charges, right? Sound like somebody said, right? And that's what they do. And so when they sit there, even sometimes when they may be telling the truth, maybe you don't know when to believe them. And today, as I was listening to them, it reminds me of that song, what is it? Sky. So Teacher Percy say, when you lie, you tell a lie. And so I didn't even know what to believe. The Minister of Home Affairs, she looks as though she was in La La Land, just waiting for peace of the microphone so that she can add her nonsense. You know, and she was a magistrate, could you believe? appeared in front of her a couple of times, mind you. She was this close to sending me. You know, a lot of them were this close to sending me, but they were afraid to send me. I don't know why. Anyways, it was a joke. It was a farce. Just watching, listening to them nonsense, you know, as who is it? Otto Martin said nonsense, right? And utter nonsense today at that so-called, was that a press conference? Who are they insulting? Now, listen to me. I want you to hear me out in this. Hear me out in this, right? So, hear me out. I want you to hear me out. So, according to the crime chief, Branham, that's his name? Yeah, this is the crime chief. This is when they held that press conference over the Paper Shorts murder. This is not today. They're older than this now, right? They look old, man. I ain't gonna lie. Look, I'm a young guy, but these guys look older than me by 10, 15 years. Well, I think one of them is older than me. You figure that out. But listen to this. Listen to this. Sorry, this is not a laughing matter because a little girl died. But these guys are jokers. Now, listen, hear me out. The same police force, right, that they lied to you about this? Yeah. They lied to you about, and they tried to divert attention. They told you guys about Orlando, right? This is fresh. This wound, these wounds are still fresh. A senior policeman of the Guyana Police Force showing relatives and friends of Adriana Young that, look, a little girl left in a car with some guy by the name of Orlando. Go. She left. She gone. Y'all come out. Y'all go home. Y'all sleep. She's gone. A senior member of the Guyana Police Force did that. Lied to relatives and friends of Adriana Young. Lied. To this day, what has happened? They haven't solved the crime. It is pretty obvious that they try to cover it up to protect the owner. That's what it seems like, mind you, to protect the owner of the hotel. But today at the press conference, they come to you now and they want you to believe their side of the story. They want you to believe them. This is the same police force that can't find this vagabond with ants nest and cockroach nest and all these sort of things on his head. Gosh, and just imagine this guy get a woman. I'm sorry about that. I shouldn't be saying that. This is a serious show, right? But anyways, this is the same police force that cannot find this vagabond and put him in jail after he was convicted for fraud. He wasn't convicted by Facebook or on Facebook or on, those other social media platform. What is it? TikTok and so forth. No, he was convicted by a court. And the same police officers, the senior police officers who sat at that press conference today, they want you guys to believe them. To believe them? No. I don't know about you guys, but I'm certainly, they sat there. This was when they held a press conference a couple of years ago to cover up, in my opinion, mind you, and public's perception is that they cover up the Paper Shorts murder after Dion Bascom, that detective sergeant, had that explosive set of information about the cover-up. And so instead of solving the crime, instead of going after the suspects, and you know who the suspects are and were then, right? Instead of going after the suspects, guess what? They went after the policeman, the whistleblower policeman, to silence him. They fired him from the force, all because he was there. He saw the covering up of the Paper Shorts murder. And, these are the people who want to come to tell you about some guy who came in from, from Venezuela. Came in from Venezuela Sunday. Sunday was his first time in Guyana. Who are these vagabonds fooling? Sunday? His first time in Guyana? And he walked up to that what is it? He went over, and by the way, this is not a win campaign close, right? I don't know who found that T-shirt, who gave him those sort of things. Look at the pants. Look at the suspect. The suspect looks as though he's, what is it, size 34. This looks as though it's a size 36. I don't know. Something isn't right. I'm absolutely serious. Something isn't right. And then you see everybody jump in. One man say give $500,000 reward. Another clown by the name of Roshan Khan, he giving some $1 million reward. They know very well, they know what they're doing, right? It's just a publicity stunt, but reward. And so the Guyana Police Force decided that of all entities, of all agencies, the Guyana Police Force said that they're giving out $5 million. You know very well the Guyana Police Force, they do not give out rewards. They do not give the people the money. They do not. Remember, there was a guy who facilitated the handing over of copper, a guy named Copper, who was out and they charged him with this, murder, them, or whatever. You remember that guy who turned him in, right? Who surrendered him to the police. Up to a day like today, that guy hasn't received his reward. Y'all know who that guy is? Any one of you in the audience, do you know who that guy is that turned him in? He called up that guy, an activist in Guyana, and he turned himself. That guy turned him over to the police. The guy called the media houses and he said, look, here you go. This is your suspect. A day like today, them and give that guy bench up his, Mark, sorry, I shouldn't be. They don't give, the Guyana Police Force do not give any money. They do not. They swore people, And so when they placed that $5 million rewards, it was just a farce. We all know that. We all know that, guys. Come on. So look at this here now. The guy that they have in custody, forget about this. That is AI generated stuff. This guy get a straight nose. He looks like he's from Turkey, Russian, whatever. All of this was to divert attention. Now look at this guy at the pump station. Look at this guy at the pump station. He's tall. He looks like he's about 6'2", if you ask me. And look at the T-shirt and then his sandals or slippers or whatever you call it. So all of these things, I'm going to say this to you guys again, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Welcome to Straight Up on 107.1 FM. The Guyana Police Force, they do not give out rewards. They do not. They either keep it for themselves or they hunt the individuals down and they kill the persons and they kind of split the bounty and all. That's what they do. Look, I don't have fun in talking about the Guyana Police Force like this. I know they're good men and women of the Guyana Police Force. Don't get me wrong. They're good men and women who want to do the right thing. But because of the political control of the Guyana Police Force, they cannot be professional. The senior ranks have to be puppets of the PPPC. And if they're not puppets of the PPPC, they're puppets of drug lords, they're puppets of gold smugglers, they're puppets of fuel smugglers and so forth. Some of them, we know this one here. And just imagine, a senior police officer is sanctioned. Not a word from the hierarchy of the Guyana Police Force, neither the corrupt government, about this guy who was sanctioned for trafficking in drugs. He is listed as a narco trafficker. What has happened to this guy? Nobody at the press conference asked that question. But anyways, they weren't prepared to answer questions other than to stay focused, to so-called, to divert attention. They didn't want to answer questions about some group of individuals, Muslim guys who were turned away from the airport, whether it is true or not. They betrung the bush, the gorong sa, the gorong da, the korong bagli side, the gorong he, the gorong there, without not wanting to answer the darn question. This person who sits there as the Minister of Home Affairs. I can put my head on the block that she knew nothing about that. I could put my head on the block that the Chief Immigration Officer of Guyana doesn't know anything about that. And so they were embarrassed. Even the National Security Advisor, their so-called National Security Advisor, you had Jerry Gopaya there, you had all of them there, including the chair, or what is it, the Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force. What's the sense you have them there and not a word from the Guyana Defense Force? No question to him so that he can answer a question. What is it that Guyana is doing in preparation for an attack in the event that Maduro wants to attack Guyana? What is happening? He just sat there for what? Showcase? Brigadier of the Guyana Defense Force? Is that what he was there for? Bring all of them there for showcase? This woman answered no question. This is way beyond her. This is not about her. She's not a security guy person. I don't know. I don't even know why I came on the program tonight, right? Well, you guys know. But look, I don't know what we were. She was ill prepared. All of them were ill prepared, and I can understand what happened because in her office before the live press conference, something happened at her office. And we got the video. We will show you guys what happened, because whatever happened at her office was the reason for the confusion. Massive confusion, lies upon lies at today's press conference. Here is why. We got the video. We'll tell you why.
I say I know what to do with she. I blow she ass away. Watch me. Right. I don't think she knows rape.
Just like that at the press conference. No wonder why the press conference went that way. No wonder why. It was bare confusion. Nobody walked away with anything. None of you knew exactly what they said. None of you walk away with anything constructive, because they were beating around the bush. They didn't know what to tell you guys. And they went there thinking that people are gonna like pat them on the shoulder. Oh, great job. Oh, great job. They know exactly what transpired. They know that even, of course, it's act of terrorism, because if you charge people who are protesting peacefully and fighting for justice, if you charge them with acts of terrorism and all these sort of things, well, this is their chance for terrorism, right? This is their chance for terrorism. And so they wanted, like in the mornings, you get up, those of you from the quarantine, you know what, you milk a cow, you milk. And so they wanted to milk this opportunity. They wanted to score cheap political points. And so they rounded these guys up. They're not going to tell you who they rounded up. They're not going to come and tell you that this has nothing, possibly, mind you, possibly has nothing to do with what's happening in Venezuela and that madman Maduro. It may very well have to do with some sort of criminal deal, some sort of deal that went wrong. But they're not going to come and tell you anything. Why do you suppose every single question, the crime chief or even the man who sits there as commissioner of police, they cannot answer? They know why they cannot answer. It's not like they don't want to answer, it's they cannot answer. And so they say, oh, right now, and right now, and right now. They can't answer about the bomb. They can't answer whether it's a homemade bomb, whether it's from some pressure cooker, or whether it's some tin and cup, or they cannot answer anything. So why host a press conference with a bundle of them, about over almost a dozen of them sitting on a long round table? Look, when you wanted this woman, we could have just called her and let her blow them away with whatever walk she's doing. And that's the kind of whatever walk she's doing.
I say I know what to do with she. I blow she ass away. Watch me. Right.
That's how I felt about that press conference. You saw that woman just blowing and everything just falling dunk, right? Every single thing just falling dunk like London Bridge, right? Guyana is like a big joke under the PPP regime. Nothing is serious. Absolutely nothing. Nothing is done properly. And so while the people in Guyana are going through what they're going through, big head guy named Irfan Ali wrap up with the thing. He there till in Saudi Arabia having fun. Compliments of taxpayers, right? Having fun. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a rat's you know what. And he's not bringing back anything to Guyana other than stress. He's not bringing back anything productive. All he's doing is expense upon expense upon expense upon expense. That's what's happening, and they don't care. And so, look, let's get back to this lady. Do you know? And I want to get back to the this suspect, quote unquote suspect, right? Right, this suspect. They're claiming that this suspect. Where is the suspect? There he is. Yeah. Oh, there. Oh, look at the suspect. Changing colors all the time. I want to tell you guys something about this suspect. I want to, but before we get to that, I want to whisper something to you. Let's get back to her. I know after tonight she probably wouldn't like me. She probably doesn't like me anyway. It's none of my business too, right? But let's talk about Sour Jack. Now, let's talk about her. So they came out at this press conference today to score cheap political points. A reporter asked about the victims. How are they doing? You know darn well that she doesn't know how they're doing. And she pushed in, oh, the Minister of Education gonna do something. What's something the Minister of Education? What does this have to do now with the Minister of Education gonna do something? Did the Prime Minister visit them? Did the so-called, they said Guyana has vice president, did the so-called vice president visited them? Did senior members of the PPP visited those individuals? They don't care, right? You know why? They didn't visit because they don't care about those individuals because of maybe because of their ethnicity. So they don't care. And so you talk about social services, going to do something to help. Going to buy what? A casket for this little girl? And give the family some what do you call it? Some wake house money? And that's it, right? Because that's the sort of value they put on these folks. That is the value they put on these folks. Now, let's get back to Soury Face. Now, hear me out on this. She suddenly is talking about the death penalty because they're playing up the emotions of citizens of the country. She knows darn well that they're not even concerned about death penalties and so forth and so on. And so because it appears to be, and they want it to appear as though it's probably it's linked to Maduro. We don't know that as yet. There is a possibility, don't get me wrong, because Maduro is a madman. Now, this whole explosion at the gas station, there is more to it. But the corrupt PPP regime doesn't want you to know the truth. So here's what they're going to do. They're going to talk about death penalty now. Oh, they're going to seek the death penalty. Oh, they're going to do this and suddenly they want the death penalty, right? Suddenly they want the death penalty. Death penalty, and she knows that her president is going to sign it. And he has indicated that he's going. This is the level of disrespect in Guyana. And to sit there and watch and listen to the nonsense spewing out of that so-called press conference, it's a shame, Guyana. It's a shame. Now, here's why she's talking about the death penalty. Because she feels that they are going to score cheap political points. They don't really care about this little girl other than just to score cheap political points. Why do you think, have you seen the WPO, which is the Working People's or some Women's Progressive Organization, of the PPP? Did you see any member of the the PYO issuing a statement? Did you see members of the Georgetown Chambers of Commerce issuing a statement? Did you see the Private Sector Commission issue a statement? Did the Guyana Bar Association issue a statement? Nothing, absolutely nothing. If you check their pages, Irfan Ali's page, Jack Deer's page, all day they're running crap wherever Irfan Ali is in Saudi Arabia. That's all they're running. They do not care, guys. They just do not care. So hear me out on this here now. You know that cop that got killed the other day, right? When the cop got killed, not one of them said anything other than the police force rushed to defend that guy, rushed to ensure that he get charged with manslaughter, not murder. And then later on, after maybe the preliminary inquiry, the PI, and then the magistrate or the defense lawyer would argue and say, well, look, either a no case submission or to ask that the charges be broken down to manslaughter after the evidence presented and so forth and so on. But that's not the case. Right off the bat, they say manslaughter. He gets $1 million bail, and he's out right now, probably at Baroom Bar, looking at somebody swinging on a pole. Oops, sorry. So now, hear me out on that. Not a word on this. I want us to show, where's Lemon? Show a little video, please, of the cop and those relatives and colleagues of this policeman. Please, it's a bit sensitive, so our apologies, but we will show it. It's just about it's about 20 minutes, 20 seconds, sorry. So here goes. This is when the cop was shot and killed, when the cop was murdered.
No, you want to. You want to move on the fucking station? I don't put the fucking enemy.
You saw? The cop was shot and killed. And they call that murder? You just picked up the gun, boom. That's it. All because the cop expressed, of course, his anger. The cop expressed his anger about what transpired. And that is what you are going to do, shoot and kill the cop. Now take a listen to this again.
No, you want to. You want to move on the fucking station? I don't put the fucking enemy.
So the cop hit the counter top. The cop didn't draw a weapon or anything. Nothing. At no time that guy's life was in danger. At no time there wasn't any warning. A warning shot, pow. Right away, he took that weapon out, he pointed it at the guy, boom. That's the end of it. And that is manslaughter. That's cold-blooded murder. That's not manslaughter. It's cold-blooded murder. But guess what now? Let's get back to Sowery. Let's go back to Sowery. She's not going to say that the guy who murdered that cop should be sentenced to death. Or she's not going to say she's going to talk to Irfan Ali and say that the guy who murdered that cop should get the death penalty. No. Because it doesn't suit her agenda. She cannot say that. And so if you take a look at that tape again, you would see that it was uncalled for. There was a heated argument. The cop in my opinion, was within his right. Now, if you are going to be selling people's stuff, sell proper stuff. And do not disrespect people when they go back, because you frustrate individuals. And that Nima Karam, that Katahar, that Korhi, that murderer who picked up that weapon and shot that cop point blank, that's what? What is it again? I hope Sawari is watching. What is it again? Manslaughter? Come on, guys. Take a listen. Take a look at this again. And tell me if it's manslaughter.
You asking me, brother? No, you want to. You want to move on the fucking station? Don't put the fucking enemy.
So that's it. Any DPP or any proper investigator, any proper detective would never conclude that that's manslaughter. Let the jury decide that. Let them decide that. Who decided? Who is the legal advisor for the Guyana Police Force? One, was it the legal advisor who decided that this should be manslaughter, or was it the DPP? I don't know. But yet Sauri isn't going to say that that murderer, who they, because of his PPP connections, put him on $1 million bail and sent him home on manslaughter. And so with this terrorist guy, or this guy that committed that act, according to them, the police, they claim that he confessed. Now suddenly they want to make it look as though, okay, the guy needs public and everybody's watching, so they want the death penalty for this, and so that's going to rile up people in the nation. Yes, the death penalty. But they're not going to talk about death penalty for that rascal, that murderer who killed that cop. So the life of a policeman is worth nothing. And don't be fooled. They don't actually respect anything about this little girl who died, Nothing. All they want to do is score cheap political points. That is all. Cheap political points. Give your tax dollars to buy a casket for this little girl. Give her family your tax dollars to keep wake. And they want to give the impression that it's their money they're spending. Now let's get back to this guy who suddenly changed his complexion. By tomorrow he may become darker. Who knows? And then we heard from the crime chief is that when a question was asked about whether he speaks English or not, the crime chief doesn't want to respond to that question, whether he speaks English or not. Of course, he's got to speak a little English. Now, hear me out on this here. Hear me out on this. According to the crime chief, this guy came to Guyana on Sunday. That's it. He came into Guyana on Sunday, the 25th. That's all, right? And we must believe this here. We must believe that this guy left Suriname, and it takes about a day to travel to Guyana. About a day to travel to Guyana, right? And then you got to go across the border, and then you got to go through this place, the place, and you guys who from this place, the place know, right? And then you got to stop. You got to go through some immigration check. If you're driving a vehicle, he cannot walk, He cannot walk. And so there are several police outposts and immigration stuff. Charity here, whatever, right? All of these things you gotta stop. So where did this guy travel? All the way from Venezuela, according to them. He only came to Guyana on Sunday. Now here is why they want you guys to believe that this guy only came to Guyana on Sunday. because they don't want to let you know that he probably was in Guyana before. And I can put my head on the block that, and plus this 5,000 Guyana dollars, that this guy was in Guyana before, and the police force want to cover it up. Sawari want to cover it up. They don't want you guys to know the truth. That guy, this suspect was in Guyana before. I am almost certain that you're going to hear that this guy was living in Guyana, somewhere over in Region 3 with Sati or Debbie or Karen, or who knows, maybe Kwame. Who knows? But this guy, this is not his first time in Guyana. I don't know who they're fooling. This guy probably even got a Guyana ID card. He probably voted, and you can't tell me this is his first time in Guyana. So he decided now, look, hear me out on this, guys. Y'all got to hear me out on this. Hear me out on this, please. Call somebody talk sorry. Hear me out on this. Now, this guy has a bomb. And this guy traveled with this bomb in a bag. This live bomb in a bag. All the way from Venezuela. And he drove through, and he had to stop at least about 3 or 4 checkpoints. And he got this bomb in his bag. And he sat there. And he knows that he's going straight to this gas station. And he's going to put this thing there in a garbage bin. He knows everything what he's going to do. So just like that, he left Venezuela, and he said that he's coming to Guyana to place a bomb at a gas station on Regent Street, a country he doesn't know anything about, nothing at all. And nobody in Guyana knew that he was supposedly traveling with a bomb, right? Nobody knew. And so as soon as he reached Guyana, he said, no, I don't want no dalpuri. I don't want no cook up with gas rip in it. I don't want anything. I don't want no pulori. I don't want no plantain chips. I don't want anything. He just wants to go and put that bomb, put it there at the gas station. That's what he wants to go and put it there at the gas station. And so that is why he left Venezuela, right? And that's what the police, that's what they want you guys to believe. That's what Sawari and them want you guys to believe. Oh, Sawari. That is what they want you guys to believe, right? Just like that. He traveled all the way from Venezuela, doesn't speak English, in a car. Who drove him? It wasn't a minibus. Somebody whose boat he used to cross from Venezuela to Imamadai and whatever you call them places. You bush guys, some of you bush guys know, right? Ibamadai and them things. You gotta pass through checkpoints, immigration check. So he's sitting there in this vehicle, and he has this bomb in his car, right? It's right there. He doesn't speak English. Police probably say, hey, you Zubai. Me not speak English. Me not speak English. No habla English. What do you, me not speak English? What's that you got in the bag? Oh, me no. Me get plantain chips. Me get puri. Me get hasakori. Me get gilbaka. Me get catfish in this bag. Something isn't adding up. Something isn't adding up. And so the Guyana police force, Blanham and Hicken, good night, they're watching. They want you guys to believe their story, that Jim Cock bring Ramgood story. No. And then hear me out on this. At the press conference, or the so-called press conference, they claim that the guy, the suspect, right? The suspect, and they're happy. They're happy to report that the suspect, oh, yes, he confessed. He confessed. Could you believe? He confessed, according to them. He confessed. In Spanish, they got an interpreter, and so he says, oh, he did it. But then I'm going to tell you why he did it, who paid him to do it, and all this. They're not going to tell you all of that. They're not going to tell you all of that. This guy left one day ago. He probably left Saturday and he reached to Guyana Sunday, and as soon as he reached, that's it. And then he ran back to Region 3. And he gone into hiding. And then he jumped from being almost white skin to look how he's looking there now. He's almost looking like Dharam Lal. The only difference, his face is longer. And his lips not as beat up as Dharam Lal, but that's what they want you guys to believe. And there's reasons why Dharam Lal lip is split up, right? But that is what they want you guys to believe. This Jim Cock bring ram goat story. How many of you in the audience believe this Jim Cock bring ram goat story from the Guyana Police Force? How many of you? How many of you? If you do not believe the police version of their so-called spec convention, the so-called spec convention, right? The spec conference said, nah. If you don't believe, just say nah. There's no big fancy writing and thing. Just say nah. Y'all don't believe, nah. Now, hear me out on this here now. Here is where the story got sweet, right? Mark, welcome, known as Mr. Cool, Squashman, and all y'all. Nah. Now, hear me out on this here. Hear me out. They claim that this guy confessed to this crime. Now, I don't know. But the police force, what I do know, though, is that the Guyana Police Force, under these same guys, they have a history of lying. Now, let's go to this here. How many of you guys remember this little boy, Theon Thomas? I think he was 14 years old. He was tortured by members of the Guyana Police Force. He was tortured. They burnt his private parts, burnt it, and forced him into a confession. Of course, I know this case very well. So they tortured this little boy. And then they rushed to the public to say that, oh, he confessed to a murder. You tortured a 14-year-old boy in the lockups. You burnt his private parts. You just burn him up. Burn him up. Just for him to say, yes, yes, yes. Just for him to say yes, so that you guys in the police force, shame on those vagabonds who did this to this little boy. So that they can go out in the public now. And they held a press conference saying that he confessed to the crime. He confessed to the murder. A 14-year-old boy they did this to. This is no propaganda. And they want you guys, they want people to believe their Jim Cock bring ram goat story about another confession when they have a history of lying to the public and torturing people into confession. Now, I'm not sure what happened with this guy that they claim is a Venezuelan and that he confessed. I don't know what happened there. Now, his lawyer is going to have to talk to you guys. And I'm almost certain that his lawyer is going to say, nah, they beat him, they do this, they squeeze, you know what. And all these things, right? All I'm pointing out to you is the reasons why I do not trust the Guyana Police Force. Most of those senior officers you saw today, they failed their lie detector test done by foreign law enforcement agencies a couple of years ago. They failed it. And those are the ones sitting talking to you guys about law and order? No, no, no. But this was just one of the many cases. I don't know if you guys remember this case. This was at the Vigilance Police Station. And I also know this case very well. Very well, I know this case as well. So this guy was locked up at Vigilance Police Station. They burnt his hands badly. I mean, all of these photographs, probably I'm the one that took it. I don't know. But I know of these cases because I was right there on the battlefield, so to speak. His lawyer was Dexter Todd. And so they burnt this guy, they tortured this guy, and then they came out to say that he confessed to some crime. Again, I'm just building a case, showing you guys where the police have lied, not once, not twice, not thrice, or whatever. They have a history of lying about people confessing. They have a history of lying. How many of you guys remember that case? It's a sad situation in Guyana when you have men in uniform and women in uniform who are there to protect and serve, that you just can't believe them. And so today's press conference is just one of the many press conferences by senior operatives of the Guyana Police Force that cannot believe. At least I don't. Now let's go to another case. I'm not sure how many of you guys know of this case. Where is it? Let's go to this one here. So now we saw back then in 2009, Guyana police accused of burning boys' genitals. That's what it is. Accusation of setting fire to a 14-year-old boy. That's the history. And this is just one of so many other cases. What about this one here? What about this one here? Now, they detained the little boy, the same boy, and they tortured him into a confession. But that's not the only thing. How many of you guys remember the Shaka Chase story? Now, that's another case that I know very well. Now, Shaka Chase, in 2013, I believe, or somewhere thereabouts, a policeman got shot and killed somewhere on High Street. So when that policeman was killed, they put out a wanted bulletin for Shaka Chase. They caught him. They tortured him. They squeezed, you know what? Squeeze. And they did all sorts of things. And when they squeezed him and they tortured him, he did all sorts of messy situation on himself until he confessed, according to the police. He confessed. They charged him with murder. Now, I know the situation. I was there on the ground, and I know it. And I know what they did to that policeman, too. A little indigenous and Amerindian police guy. I met with his family, his mother. He had a wife then and a child. I met with all of them. And I know what the senior members of the Guyana Police Force did to that family. I also know what they did to Shaka Chase by torturing him and fabricated a murder charge against him, charged him with murder, put him before the court, tortured him, and came publicly through a press conference to say that he confessed. And then they went into Tiger Bay and they tortured a woman too. I interviewed her, and her story was sad, what the police did to her. They tortured her so that she can confess that Shaka Chase murdered that cop. But the evidence pointed in another direction. And all they wanted to do was to put that murder charge on Shaka Chase. The same they have done to others who are languishing in prison right now on trumped up charges. But because of the evidence, that Shaka Chase was somewhere else and the eyewitnesses and all manner of things, the DPP had no other choice but to withdraw in matter of a couple of weeks, to withdraw the murder charges against Shaka Chase. I've mentioned that just to remind you guys about the lies and the corruption in the Guyana Police Force. That's just a handful. And it's not propaganda. So we're seeing it played out right in front of our eyes again with the lies and the propaganda and the distraction and the cover-ups from the Guyana Police Force once again. This situation with that guy, that suspect, in my opinion, is more than what they are saying to you guys. And it is my opinion that they're covering up from the real purpose of placing that explosive device at that gas station. There's more to that story. There's a cover-up to that story. But they're holding on to this Venezuelan angle for obvious reasons. Now, it could be maybe a Venezuela link. It could. But that is more a long shot. But they don't want to tell you that it could be a bad transaction. They don't want to tell you anything. They're not going to tell you who the other three suspects are. And you could just assume who they are. They're not going to tell you who the other 7 suspects or whoever. They're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you about the mastermind. Because this guy, they claim that he came from Venezuela the same day. It doesn't even look like he got passage. He doesn't. You don't think they know exactly what happened? They know. But they don't want to tell you guys. And so when we talk and we show you the other side of the coin, the bumps raise and they think that we're spreading propaganda. But I just showed you reasons why you should not believe the Guyana Police Force. And I'll go back into it again. Persons were sanctioned, including, this is for trafficking of drugs. Look, you see the big sanction there. Traffickers use Guyana as a cocaine transshipment point to the U.S. A senior member of the Guyana Police Force was part and parcel of this sanction. Not a word from the Guyana Police Force. Is he still being paid? Is he still a member of the Guyana Police Force? It's pretty obvious, isn't it? We'll wait and see what next. As they say in Guyana, we big, but we ain't stupid. We know exactly what's happening. Find out who owns that gas station. And maybe the police can interview them as well and ask whether they got any beef, any problems with anybody over fuel. Because, you know, fuel smuggling is big in Guyana. But let me just make it clear that whoever the owners of that gas station is or are, whoever the owners are or whoever the owner is, I'm not saying that they're into anything illegal. I'm just saying that the investigation should start right there. And then you go down the line to see if there's a connection between Venezuela and the placing of that explosive substance right there at that gas station. But you don't start in Venezuela and then leave out the big crime scene by questioning the owner or owners of that hotel. You don't leave that out. Again, I'm not saying that the owner or owners are into anything. I'm just saying that it is a crime scene and it happened at a gas station. And of course, the questioning starts right there in order to find the motive or the motives. That's all I'm saying. Read between the lines, guys. Don't let the Guyana Police Force or SORI try to divert attention from what may very well be the real motive of the placement of that explosive substance. her device. I'm out of here. Meanwhile, Guyana suffers, and Fatbai is in Saudi Arabia having fun. Adriana Young family still wants justice. Sanctioned PS still probably getting taxpayers' dollars. Sanctioned quote-unquote notorious individual is still liming with officials of the government. A convict is still rolling around Linden, probably with his wheelchair, and the police, they're not going after these individuals. Again, you know why. We all know why. And don't ever allow them, Saori and the pack and the gang, to fool you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Same place, same time. And as we heard about sanctions coming in August, nothing came. We heard sanctions coming in September, nothing came. We heard sanctions coming in October, we ain't seen nothing yet. I don't know, all these chit-chatting and talking. This gonna happen, that gonna happen, this gonna happen, that gonna happen. Let me go and do some reading. See y'all tomorrow again, same place, same time. Again, those of you who are celebrating your birth anniversary, including our 95, she's 96 today, 96 years old. Happy birthday to all of you. Those who are a little under the weather, we pray for you. And those victims of that terroristic act at that gas station, our prayers are with you. Speedy recovery. And to this little girl, condolences to her family, friends, her classmates. Our condolences. The police need to get to the bottom of this, and they need to stop BSing members of the public. See you all tomorrow. Same place, same time. God bless you all.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout, and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fair with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clout. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US, and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su. My relationship? Nothing.
I say I know what to do with she, I blow she ass away. Watch me. Right. I don't think she knows.
This is one of the most important ingredients when you want to make mind-blowing cook-up. All right?
Yeah.
You have to ensure you get pure Guyanese cash rib.
Just tell me, you ever see a mother put cash rib in cook-up? You ever see a mother put cash rib in cook-up? What kind of cook-up is that? You just tell me.
Police, take up something.